So welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up the Sims 2 Legacy Collection and a little bit of CC recommendations to make your game look a little bit better without ruining the default aesthetic of the Sims 2. So the first section, which I'm going to be leaving timestamps down in the description, so depending on what you want to look at, you can just click and go directly to that section. The first one is to make the game run better, and the first thing you will be getting is DXVK, which is a DXD9 DirectX 9 translator to Vulkan, which improves performance by a big number. I'm going to be pulling up a little comparison on the screen right now so you can really feel the difference. The next thing you will want to get to make the game run better is the TX2 extender, which now has a pink flashing fix by pockthewok, and this also fixes a lot of other issues like lag in the makeup section, and so you can have separate outfits in other core categories than just the everyday in Casman. So after you have downloaded these two, you can just go into your downloads folder or wherever you have saved them. I recommend having two windows open at the same time for this. And the first thing you will do is just go into where you have installed the game. It will be pulling up on the screen right now where the different install location says. I am using the Steam version, so I'm gonna go into my Steam directory where I have the Sims 2 Legacy Collection. So I will be going into the EP9 and then TS bin. Here you will go into first the DXVK. When you have come into this directory where you have x64 and x32, you go into the x32 and then copy d3d9.dll over. Then you will go into your TS2 extender. You will go up one, select the TS bin and TS data, paste it in, replace it, and go back into TS bin, copy the Lua over here, and after that go into your documents, EA Games, The Sims 2 Legacy, downloads, and then just copy this over, and then you're done with making the game run better and also fix some bug issues. The next section is how to bring back Ikea from the dead, because in the Legacy Collection the Ikea stuff pack was not included. So you will go over to this GitHub where you will download either the VDF if you're using the Steam version or the Reg if you're using the EAP version. I'm using the Steam version, so I'm going to be downloading this one. And then you need to have the install files for the Sims 2 Ikea stuff, and I'm going to be downloading it from archive.org on an archive website of the Sims 2 UBS Starter Pack Edition, because it had the Ikea stuff pack and was pretty much the way I used to play this game before it got taken down. You will download the University Life.7 zip. It's gonna error out the first time, but you're gonna be redirected to the right download link, and it will start downloading. Just keep in mind that the internet archives are a little bit slow, so if it takes a little while, just wait for it to just download. So you can see it's gonna take a little while. I already have this downloaded, so I'm not going to be downloading it again. And then when you have done all of that, you can go back into your downloads folder, I'm gonna just be copying over the installer files, which are the ones you download from University Life, which will, in the University Life zip file, you will find these 3 files. You will be going back into your game directory, and it's the root game directory you want to go into, not the TS bin. And you'll be copying just the SP8 over here. And it may take a little while because it's copying it from the zip file. So you have to be a little patient. While this is copying, I'm gonna go back in here. You're gonna be dragging your .vdf if you're on downloaded your game on Steam, and just click replace. And while this is copying, we can continue to the next part, which are the mods that I think are good to have. You don't need them, but they are really good to have. So the first one is pretty much all the fixes from Nopke. And what the hell is that? My eyes are down here. What the fuck? Okay, I was what the hell? Okay, I'm gonna be moving on. I do not know what the hell that is. I was not ready for that. But you will just be downloading all the fixes. They are pretty much needed, in my opinion. They are also really good. And then we have the Sims 2 store items, which I personally download because it is made by Maxis, and I think it like adds to the Sims 2, and it looks like Sims 2 stuff because it's made by EA. So I just like to have it in my game. Then we have Body Shop installer for Legacy Edition, which is, in my opinion, an amazing program. The Body Shop, but it was removed in the Legacy collection for some reason. So this just brings it back. And when you're installing this, you're going to be selecting if you're using the Steam version or the EA, or if you have installed your game in another root directory. I'm going to be installing it in Steam. And then I'm going to be not enabling DXVK, because DXVK with Body Shop is a little bit wonky on newer graphics cards. Both on Nvidia and AMD, I've had issues with the Body Shop not launching or it just being black. So I'm going to be skipping that. But when you have installed Body Shop, you're not done yet. You're going to need to download a program called Graphic Rules Maker. Because if you don't download this, you're going to have an issue where the Sims 2 Body Shop stuff you extract to your game looks really low quality. So you're just going to click Auto Select. It will find the right thing and you will just save it. Make sure to click save sometimes so you really make sure it has saved. Then we got the startup sheet, which adds a lot of different aliases for different sheets. If you want to read more, I have linked this. It also adds so you can see more trees in your neighborhood, and it has a cinematic version and a non-cinematic version. I'm going to be downloading the cinematic version. And this is, you're not going to install this like a normal mod because it's a user.startup sheet. So you're going to be copying this to your documents, EA Games, Sims 2 Legacy, config, and then paste it right in here. I have edited this one slightly and specifically added so I'm allowed to build more than 4 floors and up to 10. This sheet also has has made it so you can have more than 50 max sims and 20 max pets and 20 max humans. If you create your sims in CAS, you won't be able to go over 8, but you can move them in from neighborhood mode to a lot to make them more than 8. I'm going to be pulling up just a little screenshot of what I was talking about before, the lot trees deco distance, because I think that personally is the biggest reason why I'm using this, because it just adds it without me needing to type in any sheets. It's already made. It also has a lot of different other sheets enabled by default, which are really helpful, and a lot of other things that I just love about BellaDovah startup sheet. You can watch her own video of how to create user startup sheet, and I'm going to be linking that in the description too. The next section is some mods that improves the default look of The Sims 2. So the first one is more saramkirk tree lot imposters, which just makes your trees like the low poly version in your game look like the actual ones you see on lot, which this image describes very well. It also the neighborhood deco that responds to this tree and this tree and this tree will also look like it. I adore this mod so much because I want to game to look like the neighborhood deco to look like the lot deco. So I just think this makes the game like more like how I would want it to look. And we also got the neighborhood deco can be placed anywhere. This is not really a default that improves how a game looks, but it will improve how your neighborhoods look that you make yourself, because you can not paste. You can place neighborhood deco anywhere on lots in the sea where you normally wouldn't be able to. I also have a mod by greatcheesecakepersona, which is of course the free Skylines 360 season ready. Even with my own playstyle of playing totally maxes, I think these ones improve how the game looks by a ton. And I also think they are pretty maxes match, so you don't really need to have a fully modded, defaulted, or whatever type of default mods you want. You can just have it in the base game too. And here comes one of the most important sections after the Here comes the section which I think is the most important after the one about making the game run fast, which is programs that makes the game better or work better. The first one is the neighborhood corruption detector, which to install is already installed for you in a zip file. And the other one is clean installer, which makes so you can install lots in The Sims 2 Legacy, because the basic program for it by EA was also removed, but I recommend you using this one anyways because it just works a lot better and just doesn't, like, when you have CC in the lot, it will just paste it in a random saying thingy with random letters and stuff, and it's really known to know what CC it actually is for categorizing and stuff. So I recommend using it anyways if you're not even using the legacy collections. But I've created my own little Sims 2 tools folder, and here I have the hood checker lot adjuster. And when you download lot adjuster, the zip file will look like that. That's why I recommend you making a Sims 2 tools folder, so you can paste hood checker here, lot adjuster here. When you're using lot adjuster, by normally it won't find all your lots if you haven't installed The Sims 2 Body Shop for Legacy Collection, so that's why I also just recommend you installing it. Now we're gonna go and move on to the sections for modders, which the first one obviously is SimPE. And you're gonna just download this, and like I did before, you're gonna just paste it into your tools folder for the Sims 2 if you created one, or wherever else you want it to be. And when you run SimPE for the first time, it won't be properly configured. So I'm going to show you how to configure this SimPE to work properly and recognize all your expansion packs. So when you have opened up SimPE for the first time, you're gonna go into extras, then preferences, and then normally this will be totally blank, nothing here. So what you're gonna need to do is to go into browse, and then just go into Windows, and then locate where you have installed your game. Now I accidentally went into users. I meant to go into programs 86, and then you will just go into where you have installed it, and then just select it, and then you have it right there. You need to do this for everything except the store edition. And also keep in mind, when you're doing the third stuff pack, celebration stuff, it will be SP4. This is because of holiday stuff, I'm pretty sure, which I believe was supposed to be the third stuff pack, but doesn't really work like a stuff pack. So that's why it goes from SP2 to 4. So just keep that in mind when you're setting up the SimPE with stuff packs. To offer glamour stuff, select SP4 and not freak out wondering where the heck SP3 is, because it doesn't exist. Then we have the Blender if you want to do 3D modeling for The Sims 2. And to get it working properly, you're going to need to download a little program extension by Simnook, the GMDC importer and exporter for Blender 4.1 and plus. You just download it over at his GitHub, and you will just open up the Blender install you have on your computer. When you're in Blender, you're going to go into Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, click on this little area at the top, Install from disk, go into Downloads, then select the extension you downloaded, Install from disk. It's going to say Mootilda installed, and then you're done. Now when you go into your files, you can go into Import, and you see GMDC, and Export, you will see GMDC2, and that's how you know it has been installed properly. Next, we're going to go into how to install Reshade and Gshade. If you don't want to look at this video and just want to do it yourself, you got my text tutorial over on my Tumblr, which shows you how to install Reshade. In this video, right now, I'm going to show you how to install Gshade, because that's what I use. So download Gshade from their official website. When you have installed Gshade, just go into your home page, click Installs, Add, Browse, and go into where you have your game files in EPTS bin, then select sims2.ep9, open, next. In the executable architecture, select 32-bit, graphics API, select DXVK, And in hooking mode, normal, and keep everything else as it is. Click install and make sure that your screenshot saves is going to your personal user directory and not your public one, because then you won't be seeing your in-game screenshots in your own private folder and you will need to manually go into the public one. After you're done, you can open up your game, which when you open up the game for the first time and have like a mini keyboard like me, you won't be having the proper keys to open it up. And I'm going to show you a little workaround to fix that, because from the beginning it's not going to be shift backspace, because that's something that I have added myself in. So you're gonna, if you're on Windows, you can use search on screen keyboard. Make sure when you have this open to click on the game. Then you can click all of these different ones here. For me, it was home I needed to click, but to open it for myself now, I'm gonna click shift and then delete. Backspace, I mean. They're pretty much the same. It just makes me a little bit confused sometimes. You can see it opened up fine without me actually having the keys on my keyboard. So that's a little quick workaround for it. If you're, for example, have a mini keyboard like me, and you can just go into settings and then the overlay key to change what keys to open, Gshade. This also works with Reshade, which you can see on my text guide on step 9, which you can see here how that it works the exact same as in Gshade, because normally it is home in both of them, and that's really annoying if you don't have home like me, and that's why I found the on-screen keyboard method to work really well. Now here's some mods that I recommend to make the game more fun. The first one is probably not a surprise to anybody. It's The Sims 2 RC, or Occasional Romance, which just adds a lot of love things like sexuality, some casual woohoo, and yeah, booty calls, no jealousy, yeah, a lot of things, which I personally love. The second one I recommend is Nopke's object dye mod, which is so you can dye your objects. There are some issues with it, but I still think it's really cool to be able to dye the objects to different colors. Like, for example, this couch normally doesn't come in this lilac color, but with the object dye kit, it will just dye it, change color. It's extremely cool. The third one is Immersive Rain, which just makes the rain in the Sims 2 feel more immersive and more like human, if you can call it that. Then we have Cast Thumbnails, which just makes it so that you have different thumbnail options to choose between in Cast. For example, if you want to have your Sims like the different hairs from the head-on side, or a little bit raised from the side, or mirrored, or whatever you would want to have them in, or if you want the Sims to be looking like mannequins. There's a lot of different things you can choose between, which I personally think is really cool. I personally use the mannequin style because I don't like the normal just skin color. I think it looks a little bit too creepy. I would just rather have it looking like a mannequin. And that's it for this video. I hope you learned something new and that your game is running a lot better. And that's all for me. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.